Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Movie News here at MB. Well, I'll repeat that. I don't know if you heard me. It's Thursday's edition of Movie News here at MB.
Wrong graphic up there, Stephen.
You might notice there's a slight difference here. We're actually in our review positions, but we're not doing a review tonight. We're saving that for tomorrow night, of course, John.
The light is goosed.
And as you can see, as you can gather, John is here, co-hosting it as usual with me, Stephen.
Yes.
And we're just going to crack on with this, John. I'm actually a bit all over the place this week because I don't normally do Tuesday and Thursday shows. I'm normally a Monday and Wednesday, but just before we come on, before we come on air, I'm always just reiterating the day it is, and hoping you'll back me up on that because I wasn't sure if it was Thursday or not.
Slow down, Stephen.
So this is going to be a very interesting show when I don't even know what day of the week it is. But John, we're going to be talking about Godzilla versus Kong.
Yes.
That is the thumbnail. That is the thumbnail. I'm assuming. I've not seen the thumbnail, and I hope it is a headline. I'm just jumping in here.
The thumbnail's interesting, Stephen. That's for sure.
I'll catch it at some point. But Godzilla
concept art.
Yep, like it.
We're going to try this, Stephen. This may be a disaster. We'll see. It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. What a shame.
Shit. Stick with us, guys. You know what? Stick with us. We'll see if we can get this.
I'll give it away here.
There we go.
That is impressive, John.
It's
well
not
done.
Very good, is it? But
it's okay. Let's just make the best of a bad situation. Godzilla v Kong reportedly considering a streaming release, John. Legendary might be considering a streaming release for Godzilla v Kong that could see the MonsterVerse movie debut on HBO Max and not in theatres. I'm already hating this article, just reading what they're doing with this film. This is coming in from Screen Rant. I'm just going to read a little bit, John. I'll let you in. This is how we do it here. We read some articles, we give our thoughts, and then we move on swiftly. But according to THR, Godzilla v Kong is likely to be released on streaming service Netflix. Reportedly offered Legendary $200 million to gain the rights to Godzilla v Kong, but Warner Media stepped in to block the deal, so they could counter with an offer that will bring the film to HBO Max. No official announcement has come, although Warner Brothers spokesperson said, "We plan to release Godzilla v Kong theatrically next year as scheduled." So that contradicts the actual headline. One of the driving forces behind Godzilla v Kong, potentially, they love saying Godzilla v Kong, and I hate saying it all the time, potentially move to streaming in the film's high budget and stacked slate of blockbusters for 2021. Legendary financed 75% of the $200 million blockbuster, with Warner Bros. Paying for the remaining 25% and giving them a say in which streaming service it could debut on. Since they are behind HBO Max, the potential for Godzilla v Kong, might as well say it one last time, to draw more subscribers is high. Now, John,
sorry, I'm just trying to restructure the actual capture there, Stephen.
That's okay. I'll just gibble away here. Before I let you in, though, we've done a few reviews on this sort of genre. Not reviews, sorry. I've never done a review on this. Reaction. No, but we'll get what their purpose is, and sort of where they sit and genre and their purpose and why they make these films. You agree with me, Harley? This film is not made for the small screen. No. Now, you could argue the likes of Wonder Woman 1984 is the same, but Wonder Woman 1984 is going to have a better storyline than this. I can guarantee that. And I don't care what you say.
No, it is, Steve, because
this is about spectacular. This is about the spectacle of these two legendary figures going head to head on screen, and on big screen, I should say. Not on a little tiny screen. And when I say a little tiny screen, I'm not talking about those 1980 portables we used to get. I'm talking about 42-inch upwards.
Not the
They're
ones
still small.
That John Lennon used to hit the control off of his son because he was pressing them too loud. Those kind of TVs. Stephen, look, you're right. Godzilla v Kong, it's been built up as a titanic clash between these two legendary Titanic figures. Obviously King Kong and Godzilla. And to then perhaps be debuting on a streaming service, HBO Max in this case, it'd be incredibly lacklustre. It'd be a letdown.
Yeah.
These movies are crafted for the theatre-going experience. They are big, bombastic visuals. They are like Michael Bay movies on steroids.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the last one, King of the Titans, because to be quite frank with you, it looked crap. The trailers were... what was the Chewits? Not Chutes. What was it?
Yeah, it was Chutes.
Chutes adverts.
Stop motion,
stop motion, Sinbad type shit going on. And by all accounts, and I'm doing it again, by all accounts, my favourite saying of all time.
I digress.
Apparently, yeah, that's the other one. The visuals were very dark to cover up a multitude of sins, so it wasn't a great movie by any means. And I don't think it done all that well in terms of box office numbers. I don't think it flopped, but I distinctly recall that summer being underwhelming in terms of raw figures across the board. So I didn't feel there was a need for Godzilla v Kong or Kong v Godzilla, whatever the hell it's called. I didn't feel there was a real need for this movie in the first place because I'm not a huge fan of it. But look, I can get on. I watched the original Godzilla, not the original, the one from 97, 98?
Yeah, the one with Jamiroquai. It was Matthew Broderick, It
was a decent movie for its time. I was young. I could appreciate movies like that.
Yeah.
I watched Godzilla from, I can't even recall the year now, the one with Bryan Cranston. It was decent as well. Yeah. I feel like these movies are better when they're just standalone stories with one specific character. I think it was King Ghidorah or something like that. It was the three-headed reptilian sort of dragon beast that he was fighting in the last movie. When you start introducing multiple characters and concepts like that, there's a chance that it can flippity flop. We're getting this again with this, but this could be different because it's two remarkable characters, Godzilla and King Kong, facing off. So there's a chance this could work, but there's also a chance it could be another Alien v Predator. And this is perhaps why they are sending it. There's a point I'm making here, Stephen. This is why I'm getting off in tangents. This may be why they are looking to send it to HBO Max. Maybe it isn't as good a movie as everyone thinks it is.
John,
maybe they realise that the potential for box office success in this new normal, this post-pandemic landscape, maybe it's not looking great.
They might not have any faith in it. You're right.
But that doesn't explain Wonder Woman, so
no, it doesn't.
But
Wonder Woman has to come out at some point. It's been sitting in the can for 2 years, and I think that's probably the reason. This, on the other hand, is made for cinema. It's made for the big screen. It's made for the spectacle that is Godzilla and King Kong. It's not my cup of tea, and I know it's not your cup of tea. You've made that clear, but there is a lot of
I loved King Kong, man. That was a good movie.
Fans out there that do enjoy the franchise or both franchises, and they've been waiting for this a long time. They want to see this in the big screen, and no doubt about it. These films rely on the sort of bombastic experience of these type of films, the visuals, the sound as well is a big play in it as well with these type of films from the Monsterverse. But I just can't see it really working on a small screen on a streaming service, John. That's the kind of place it goes afterwards, after its cinema run, just to sort of collect a few more bucks. I can't see it being a success on a streaming service, to be honest with you. I think most people, you get your hardcore element that will come in and watch this because they want to see this film, but for me it doesn't appeal to me because it's on the small screen. If I had my cinema pass, if we weren't in the middle of a pandemic, it's the type of film, if nothing else, if I wasn't doing anything else that day and I wanted to go to the cinema and it was on, I would probably go and see it. And word of mouth would obviously change your opinion. If you weren't likely to go and watch it before and there was good word of mouth, it would perhaps drive you to the theatres to watch it. Whereas with this, Stephen, we don't even have HBO Max over here. No, Sky
in the United Kingdom. Sky have worked their own independent deals with Warner Brothers and HBO to showcase their content on the Sky service. And as we've discovered this week with Wonder Woman 1984, that's not coming to Sky over here. It's getting a December 16th release. 11 days before it releases over, or December 14th or 15th, I think it's the 14th, 11 day early head start from the United States when it comes out in theatres on Christmas Day and also releases on HBO Max. We're not getting it on the streaming service over here.
What are we getting on?
If they release straight into theatres, and as I says on the show, it's a disaster because we will still be in some form of lockdown come December 14th, 15th, 16th, whatever day it is, and we will not be able to watch it in a theatre. So this is what's going to happen with this, Stephen. If this pandemic's still waging on, and I hope it isn't, I don't know the exact release date for Kong v Godzilla, but if it comes out specifically in theatres over here and it comes out in HBO Max in the States, we're screwed. And as we keep reiterating, I don't feel that this is the kind of movie that would work on a streaming service. The hand's been forced with Wonder Woman 1984. Bring the graphic up, incidentally. They have to release it. It's been sitting in the can. It's costing them money to re-advertise and obviously publicity, promotion, that's the word I'm looking for. every time they re-change a date for the release date, they have to re-promote the movie, and it's costing them hundreds of millions of dollars. So the hand was forced with this. The hand hasn't been forced. I've not seen any promotional stuff for this movie at all, so leave it. Wait till the vaccine's been rolled out, the pandemic falls by the wayside, and get it out in the theatres, man.
Yeah. Some might say that the Warner Brothers' hand was forced in the next topic, John, in regards to Johnny Depp and his departure from Fantastic Beasts 3. But it's official now, John. Fantastic Beasts 3 officially casts Mads Mikkelsen to replace Johnny Depp. We talked about it maybe a few weeks ago when it was all speculation. Yes. But per IndieWire, Warner Brothers has officially confirmed Hannibal actor Mikkelsen will play Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts 3 and beyond. The film is currently production at Warner Brothers Studios Leavesden outside of London. Much of the crimes of Grindelwald cast will return, including the franchise mainstays Redmayne, Catherine Waterston, Dan Fogler, Alison Sudol, Ezra Miller and Jude Law as the young Albus Dumbledore, or Albus, however you say that. Can tell I'm a fan. Fantastic Beasts 3
the
is
great
scheduled
Albus Dumbledore
for release on July 15th, 2022. Mikkelsen is best known for playing Hannibal Lecter in a great series, Hannibal on NBC, John. Fantastic Beasts marks the latest major franchise Mikkelsen has joined, having already appeared in the MCU's Doctor Strange, Star Wars and James Bond. Wow, guys get some CV. As Mikkelsen has clearly shown his talent for the charismatic bad guy roles, there's little doubt he'll make an excellent Grindelwald. Now it'll be interesting to see how Depp's distinctive Grindelwald look get applied to Mikkelsen. That's a good point. Now, John, obviously, I mean, what's going to happen here is that when Johnny Depp was obviously cast in the role, you're getting that element, the fan base from Johnny Depp coming in, which is obviously going to be a major pull. They're doing the same thing again here, casting someone like Mikkelsen who's going to bring people that are probably not familiar with the franchise, are not that interested. I'll probably fall into that bracket more than yourself, John, because I know that you have seen the first two movies. You're a massive Harry Potter fan as well, whereas I'm not. I'll be honest. Mikkelsen, on the other hand, I do like, and I'm very interested to see what he will bring to the role as well. And incidentally, John, I'm a fan of Johnny Depp as well, but there wasn't enough pull in him to get me into that film. But it's good to see that they've officially, this is it, John. They've had to move on. They're in production now. They just want to move on as quickly as possible to obviously get the wheels in motion, get Mikkelsen in, do the role and see where it takes them.
Stephen, I think it's a great choice. I really do. He's a better actor than Johnny Depp. I says this when the names were being bandied around, potential, and he fits all of the right characteristics to take on and sort of have that organic transition from Johnny Depp's Grindelwald to a Mads Mikkelsen. He's a similar age, he has a similar facial structure to Johnny Depp too.
Yeah.
He's got a decent hairline, he can put a slight lace on at the front and copy the white undercut slick back hair that Johnny Depp had in those first two movies. And the transition will be seamless. And it will be a better acting experience because Mads is a better actor. If we're still interested, if they get rid of Amber Heard and I'm still interested, I'll be excited to see what Mads Mikkelsen brings to this role. If they don't, then I won't be watching it. Yeah. Sorry, Mads. And I'm sure there's at least a million people like me who won't watch it either. But it's a great choice. He's an amazing actor. And as I said previously when we spoke about this, Stephen, the meat and the bones of this character in terms of acting and story is still to come.
Yeah.
The first movie, it was Colin Farrell. I can't recall the character's name. He was an aura or something like that, who was... He took a polyjuice potion, I think, and transmogrified. What's the name? I've not watched Harry Potter in a long time. I've read the series many times. Transfigured into another form. It was Colin Farrell. He wasn't in most of the movie. It was Colin Farrell who played the antagonistic turn as Gellert secretly. We only seen him in the last couple of seconds of the first movie. The second movie was a sort of foundational movie. It was creating characters that would move on. It was creating arcs that would move on into the future movies in this franchise. And again, he didn't do much in the movie. He was just looking very solemn, serious. He done a great speech at the end.
Yeah.
It was a great speech. But for the most part, he was just walking around looking ominous. Most of the acting's still to come with this character. And if it's Mads Mikkelsen, then he is a better actor. So it's a great choice, as I keep saying. And look, man, you look through the guy's his filmography. He's got an array of villainous turns.
Yeah.
Hannibal. He's played a potentially like villainous turn if you're a fan of the Empire. Is Galen Russell. He also put in that.
That's a nice
he put
point
in
of
that
view there. Yeah.
in the Death Star that killed millions of people. So he's a mass murderer. So he played a villain in that as well, from a certain point of view. Quote Alec Guinness. Ben Kenobi, Obi-Wan to most people. And of course he's played the villain in Casino Royale, he played the villain in Doctor Strange. This guy has it in him to play a villainous turn. I'm excited, provided Warner Brothers get shot of Amber Turd from Aquaman and Justice League, get her out. I'm excited to see what this guy brings. Him alongside Jude Law is going to be magic. It is going to be great. Yeah. And I don't really care about any of the other characters.
I will
Scams,
give them credit for not beating around the bush and recasting. This is probably the quickest turnaround since Christopher Plummer replaced Kevin Spacey in All the Money in the World, which was a very quick turnaround. An
Oscar-worthy nomination performance.
Yeah, and different circumstances, obviously, but
one was a beast.
Yeah, well, fantastic
beast.
Yeah, so
fantastic.
But I'm going to move on anyway before we do go down a rabbit hole, John. But
to change my mind on
what
that,
I will say is no, exactly.
People dying.
What I will say about Fantastic Beasts, John, I'd be very intrigued to see how Mikkelsen plays the character as well, because he's not one of these. Something I don't know. There's something really down to earth about the guy as well. For all these roles that he's played. He comes across as a very level-headed guy, and obviously the interviews I've seen him in, he's very down to earth. There's always a strangeness to Johnny Depp that I like. I don't know if it's the eccentric nature of him.
Try to be Keith Richards,
but probably.
He can play the guitar.
He does. For the last 15 maybe longer years, he does play more character actors than he used to, when he was first breaking, and that's probably when I liked Johnny Depp, when he was just sort of when he was doing the Benny and June. I know a lot of people don't like that film, but I do like it. I think it's very I don't know if it's Buster Keaton he's sort of paying homage to, but I like that film. I like the likes of Edward Scissorhands, these odd characters. It's Scissors Hands, yeah. But I think he has fell foul to playing. I think it probably started around about the time of Jack Sparrow. In Willy Wonka. He started playing these obscure sort of versions of famous characters. The
Demon Barber. Sweeney Todd.
And Alice in Wonderland. I can't remember the character's name he played in that.
The Mad Hatter.
The Mad Hatter, yeah.
And of course he also played that strange Indian one that everyone hated, but I loved.
Was that Tonto?
Tonto, I loved it.
The Lone Ranger.
It was good. The Lone Ranger, it was shit, but it was good shit.
And
that's what Johnny does. He gives you great character performances. He's like Jim Carrey, even if the story's it's absurd and it doesn't work. His performance as a standalone is always an enjoyable watch. Absurd.
Not like Amber
Turd. Yeah, she is absurd and she's a turd. But Stephen, look, the final thing I'll add, you touched upon the different fan bases, demographics, maybe falling away from this franchise coming in. That's interesting. I didn't think about that. Huge fan base, Johnny Depp. Perhaps he'll walk away from us now. And they've left this gap. Mikkelsen. Is there enough Mikkelsen fans to fill that void?
Probably not.
So they may have a bit of an issue. A movie that underperformed anyway, Crimes of Grindelwald. Will this third instalment be in trouble? With J.K. Rowling as well and her transphobic comments.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're in trouble, man.
We'll have to wait and see, John. A franchise I don't think is in trouble is Guardians of the Galaxy. It's in good hands. And this is all about Gamora. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Every possibility for where Gamora is. Avengers Endgame's time heist brings 2014 Gamora to the prime MCU timeline. Here's where she might have gone following the defeat of Thanos. Now, I'm not going to go through the reasons, John, but we do know these places anyway, because we have talked about the plot and the storyline of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, where it's going to take us, how much a role Thor's going to be in it. Also beyond that, how much of a role Star-Lord's going to have in Thor Love and Thunder, because he has been confirmed that he is appearing in that. So that's going to be interesting as well. But the sort of main sort of storyline to this film is going to be about the search for Gamora. And
search for Spock, I mean Gamora.
So you've got Zen Huberi. I think this is her home planet. where she could be. We only saw glimpses of that in...
I'm zoning out here. I'll get the article up, John. Come on.
Infinity War, wasn't it? Yeah, it wasn't an Endgame, it was Infinity
War.
Yeah,
it was a flashback scene,
the young
you
Gamora.
gave her the dagger.
Yeah, so that's a possibility. You've got Xandar, that's the place we first meet her.
Is that the ones with the gold turds? No, it's not. That's a different part.
No.
I hate them with a passion.
This is the one with the water features everywhere.
Yeah.
I think that's where the...
Is this when the Infinity Stone gets the guards, and it's your man, John C. Reilly? Is it John C. Reilly?
I'm trying to remember what they're called again. Glenn Close. I can't remember what they're called. The Core? Something Core?
The Core. Yeah,
can't remember.
Oh, shit.
Can't remember. And also, that's the first time we're introduced to Rocket, the raccoon, and Groot. So there is a possibility we could go back there. I actually hope they do go back there for that reason, because it was a nice planet. Earth, John...
And it get wiped out, Stephen. Apparently half its population get wiped out. So establishing the PTSD of that event, the snap. Novacore.
Yeah, I know. Earth is the next one, John. But we'll get into them in a minute. I'm just going to read out the places.
Just way too obvious.
Vormir as well. So I'm going to just get back up here, John, and we'll talk about the first one we talked about there, our home planet. Do you see that's a possibility?
Stephen, I think it's a very slight chance. If she's going off again to find herself, I'll come back to this, we'll come back to the article in a moment. If she's trying to find herself in this strange environment, she's discovered she died in a future form. She's now back alive, she's managed to evade death, and she's got relationships with people she doesn't even know. This is probably the obvious place to go to, her actual home planet. She's probably got mixed emotions about her father, her stepfather, whatever, adoptive father Thanos dying as well. So going away there to find herself, that could be an interesting one. And as you did say, we only got to see a small snippet of it.
Yeah.
In Endgame, it was a flashback sequence establishing that relationship. Or was it Infinity War? It may have been Infinity War. It was Infinity War. The relationship between her and Thanos, it was very brief. So it'd be nice to go off to a different location.
Yeah.
But it's a bit obvious, isn't it? And I think they are. I think Gunn is going to set this story up as a search for Gamora. I think that's going to be like the search for Spock meets the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because she's such an important character. Zoe Saldana is an amazing actor. She's been involved in 3 huge blockbuster movies, franchises, Star Trek, MCU, and obviously Avatar. So she's an incredible sort of proven. I'm doing a dark side power of it. She's a proven. I don't know, commodity. Commodity, is that the word? A proven sort of power, a pulling power in the box office. I'm getting late, guys. Adjectives are starting to run.
We are running late, yeah.
And I've had an incredibly busy day again. Yeah. Wow, my job, I'm getting destroyed. So it would be a little bit obvious, but it'd be nice to go to a different place and see this subplot, the search for Gamora. Perhaps there's something else going on in the movie. There's a villain trying to stop them getting to her or something like that. It'd be a little obvious though. Zen Waberi, or whatever you call it.
Yeah, Xandar, John. Would you like to go back there?
I would. Stephen, it's a colourful, bright planet, and as I says, the PTSD element, half the planet being wiped out with a snap.
Yeah.
Where they're at, where Glenn Close is at, where John C. Reilly's at. It'd be interesting. It was a colourful character. Getting back to where it all started, that's where the bromance between all of the Guardians, and the romance between Gamora and Peter Quill. Yeah. I always want to say Quave, Star-Lord. That's where it all began. Not a basis from a Kinks who had to go to Sweden and work for his wife's parents' restaurant because he get bullied out of the band. Not that guy. No, not Mick Avery who get hit with a cymbal. Very, very
the other guy that was
band.
Voted the worst Chris out the 4 Chris's. How does he feel about that?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt get voted the worst.
Yeah, Chris Evans.
Chris
Hemsworth and Chris Pine.
That is.
So he was
Chris
the weak
Pine.
He was the weak link.
It's probably is a weak link. I'd go. You know, in that combination, I'd go Pine, Evans, Hemsworth, Pratt, and they're all great. But it's just.
I thought Evans would be at the top of your list.
No, man. Pine's a better actor than Evans. I'm talking about acting ability. If we're talking about
popularity,
popularity and being a guy who's an absolute sort of inspiration in terms of bodybuilding and stuff, it would be Evans, because he's a man. And also his political persuasion, just getting towed into Trump all the time. It's brilliant. I love people like that who hate fat, tangled guys with racist undertones. So yeah, he's a hero as well. But yeah, I'd agree with that. But Stephen, look, I'm getting sidetracked. Xandar would be a great place to go back to. It's a colourful, and again, the poetry of going back to where you started, that'd be a nice touch. Whether they've got that in mind though is another thing entirely.
Yeah, they might, very much like Star Wars, they tend to deliberately not go back to places apart from Tatooine. That is.
And Vormir.
Yeah. Well,
And
Earth, John. Earth is the next one on the list.
The Blue Planet.
I don't want to see it. I live here.
Yeah, Doctor Who.
I've seen enough of it. Yeah, exactly.
This man's a Time Lord.
Doctor
Can go back to any place.
Turns up in Cardiff.
Yeah,
that doubles for London.
Yeah.
But if you're from Britain, you'll know it's Cardiff.
Yeah. But, London's very distinctive. It's like
CGI Big Ben, but it's rubbish.
Did you hear that John Barrowman's coming back, Stephen, as Captain, whatever his name is?
Captain Jack.
I thought it was Captain Jack.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah. Can't wait. Earth? No, I don't want Earth. Not a chance. No.
Earth can go to.
But of course, Peter Quill and all of the sort of complicated emotions he has with Earth, the loss of his mother and stuff like that.
They don't call it Earth in Guardians, though, do they? They call it Terra Nova or something like that. I can't remember. It's something like that. But Vormir, John, we really have to get. Does she really want to go there? You know, it's. I know it's not good memories for her because she doesn't have the memory. But I really don't see any reason to go there. They're saying in this article revisiting Vormir, but she wouldn't be revisiting it. It'd be her first time going there. The only reason I think they'd go there is to shoehorn the Red Skull character back into the franchise. Don't really need to see him again if it's not Hugo Weaving. Yeah.
Well, Stephen, the guy that done the voice, apparently he's doing voice work for potentially Ultron and WandaVision as well.
Good.
He did voice work for Ultron in some other form. He's a great voice actor, but he's not Hugo Weaving, sadly. But they do say here, it's interesting, I personally don't want him to go back to Vormir. I keep saying Vormir, it's Vormir. There's no Vor, it's like Christopher Reeves, it's Christopher Reeve, there ain't no S.
Cliff Richards.
It's just Cliff Richards, yeah. Why do humans do that?
Yeah.
But I don't want to go back to Vormir. It's a dull, dark, depressing place. We lost Black Widow here, we lost Gamora here. Why would you want to go back? Well, I suppose story-wise to find out
Captain Marvel will go back.
She'd just survive it, Stephen. She'd fly away.
She'd just break the planet in two.
She'd break the planet in two and then fly away with Miss Marvel. But Stephen, not know why I'm bringing Miss Marvel in. She's done nothing at all. It's harsh. They do say there's an
Captain Marvel's Robin.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. We've had enough of Robin. The last is a lifetime. He was that bad a character. They burnt him off screen in Batman v Superman and then had him brutally killed and then set on fire. That's what Zack Snyder thought of Robin, and rightly so. He's a shit character, terrible. But they say there's some expository, I can never say that word, expositionary, I'll make a word up, there you go. There's a reason for her to go back, to recount the darkest moment in her life, the moment where her father sacrifices her for his vision. Going back to see the only person who can recount it, Red Skull. So that'd be cool, that would be interesting. If we're going through this emotional journey with Gamora in one scene, in one part of the movie, her going back and recounting what happened up to the point where she died, going through her life, reminiscing, stuff like that. And then in the other part of the movie, we have the Asgardians, Chris Hemsworth, Thor, and the Guardians of the Galaxy try to hunt her down. That would be an interesting concept.
Well, we're going to stay on the topic of Zoe Saldana, John, because we're going to move on to the next topic that involves her. And it's all about Matt Ruffalo.
This as well?
Yeah, will play Ryan Reynolds' dad in time travel movie. Matt Ruffalo will play Ryan Reynolds' dad in The Adam Project, a time travel movie also featuring Catherine Keener, Zoe Saldana, and Jennifer Garner. So it's a great cast already. Yes. I'm just going to read a little bit of this from, I think it's coming in from Screen Rant, but it was THR that reported on this. And it says, this week THR reported Ruffalo and Catherine Keener have joined the Adam Project. The film recently began production in Vancouver, with Sean Levy directing. Zoe Saldana and Jennifer Garner will also star in the Adam Project. Ryan Reynolds' character time travels to talk with his younger self. Both versions then team up to find their father. A physicist played by Ruffalo. Keener will play on the villain role, with her character stealing technology from Ruffalo's. Ruffalo commented on the casting updates on Twitter, joking about Reynolds playing his son, and I think it was on Twitter, where Matt Ruffalo says, "So excited to be part of this already amazing cast and boss around my son at Van City Reynolds." So it's his hometown, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're filming in, so it's worth noting Saldana's casting furthers the Marvel connection, as she plays Gamora in the Guardians of the Galaxy films, as we've just discussed. She also co-starred with Ruffalo in the Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. In fact, Adam Project will reunite Ruffalo with several past co-stars, as he previously worked with Keener and Garner on Begin Again and 13 Going on 30. respectively. As Ruffalo noted in his tweet, the Adam Project has an impressive cast that should make many eager to check it out. I'm already on board anyway for 2 reasons, John. 3 reasons. First being time travel. I'm fascinated by the subject.
Time travel!
Exactly, and Ruffalo is as well. And obviously Ryan Reynolds in there, so it's a match made in heaven for me.
Yeah, Stephen, the second most well-paid man in Hollywood, Ryan Reynolds. He's just a brilliant guy, isn't he, really? I don't know what was wrong with me the first sort of 20 years of this guy's career. I hated
it was
him.
his film selections.
Yeah, it was a Hugh Grant, American, sort of Canadian. Oh, I nearly said American-Canadian Hugh Grant. He's Canadian. As we remember the Deadpool, Once Upon a Deadpool trailer.
Our first ever. I think it was our first trailer reaction, was it not?
One of them. I think maybe the third. Something Grammy's Canadian or Emmy's Canadian. That counts.
Yeah.
He loves his Canadian heritage. He's a great guy, man. And as they do say, he can do humour. And not only can he do humour, but actually Mark Ruffalo can do humour too. So this is potentially a great combination. If this is indeed a comedic outlet, this movie. Stephen, I love time travel movies. I've loved them in various different forms. Back to the Future, not just that, but frequency through the sort of medium of a radio.
CB,
going back and speaking to his father. When it's done right, this sounds as, and also the butterfly effect and what's the other one? Donnie Darko. There's been
the Time Machine as well.
Time Machine.
Yeah.
I love all these time travel movies. Dabbling with different
not the Guy Pearce Time Machine. That was rubbish. The one with Rod Taylor.
One. Yeah, the one from 1957 or something.
1960.
Was it 1960?
George Powell. Yeah.
There you go. I was close. 3 years out. Yeah. Stephen, when it's done well, it can be a great concept, and as you did say, the cast is ridiculous. It really is. I mean, we've got Jennifer Garner in there. I'm not usually a big fan of her, but I loved her in Peppermint. She was brilliant.
Good film, yeah.
Zoe Saldana, I've just spoke about her. Proven box office gold. She can draw people in. Very charismatic, great actor. Catherine Keener, we've got Ruffalo and Reynolds. And just the concept of Ruffalo playing Reynolds' father, he does have elements similar. Sort of looks-wise, he's got things going on in his facial structure that does resemble Reynolds, but he's a lot shorter, so that'll be interesting. And I can just imagine Reynolds in this movie. Well, we'll have, even if it isn't meant to be a comedy movie, it will have comedic flourishes in there. Him going back and speaking to his younger self, maybe try to imbue him with some knowledge to take into his life to make himself better when he's older. His father, the back and forth, it's going to be great. And then this villainous turn stealing technology. It's got the concept is great. It's got all the foundations of a decent little story there, and with these actors all come together, I can't see how it won't be a cult classic. Yeah, but it may be shit. I may be wrong.
Well,
I hope not.
The last film I saw Ruffalo in, John, was that Dark Waters, which was a fantastic film. He was amazing in it. I've always regarded him as a great actor anyway. I think the first film I did see him in was that Reese Witherspoon sort of rom-com one where she kind of went into a coma, and it was good.
About Legally Blonde there. I don't know why. I think it was Reese Witherspoon.
That's her as well, is it not?
Is it?
I think it is her, yeah. But it was in Eternal Sunshine of Spotless Mind as well, in a very small role. But you know, he can do everything. You know, he can play drama, he can play comedy. He comes across as, like you were saying about Chris Evans, his politics are bang on the money as well.
Fantastic.
So he's a good guy. Mix him with Ryan Reynolds, who's just on the ascendancy at the moment over the last 5-10 years. The guy just can't do any wrong. He's such a likeable guy, such a funny guy. That last stunt he did, creating his own streaming service with only his films on it, was one of the funniest things I've heard this year, and it was amazing. He put a lot of thought into it as well.
And he's continuing back and forth with Hugh Jackman's just brilliant.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think even Hugh Jackman had to pay respect to him. I think it was something about mask wearing or something like that. He actually tipped his hat to him. So yeah, man, I'd love Hugh Jackman to come in this movie. Perhaps
that would be amazing.
Maybe imagine him being the villain in that movie.
Well, that'd be another Marvel connection there as well, obviously with the Wolverine. But John, we're going to move on to our final topic, and I'm going to leave a little pause because I know you're going to be clipping this one maybe, hopefully later on. So we're just going to talk about this film called Jallikattu, which is directed by Lijo Jose Pellicer. Now, this film has been selected as India's official entry for the international feature film category at the 93rd Academy Awards. The Film Federation of India, FFI, announced on Wednesday, which was yesterday. Jallikattu, I hope I'm saying that right, which was unanimously chosen from 27 entries across Hindi, Marathi and other languages, is about a tribe of men coming together to stop a bull that has run amok in their village. I'll tell you something, John, I like that poster. That poster is amazing.
Brilliant, isn't it?
It looks like a western to me.
It does.
But
lovely colour.
Yeah, I like the colours as well. So Jallikattu had its premiere in September 2019 at the Toronto International Film Festival and received widespread critical acclaim. The movie was particularly praised for Palliseri's spectacular directing effort, ably supported by Girish Gangadharan's cinematography and Rengatha's Ravi's wild sound design work. Palliseri also won the Best Director trophy at the 50th International Film Festival of India last year for Jallikattu. No Indian film has ever won an Oscar. The last film from India that made it to the final 5 in the Best Foreign Film category list was Ashutosh Gowarakir's, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's Lagan, John. We do know that film because we have talked about that film in 2001. I can't believe it's been that long, 19 years, John. Over 27 films this has been picked from, and it's a film that's it's been around for over a year now. It's been doing the rounds, obviously, at film festivals.
Toronto, wasn't it?
Toronto. Now, obviously, with the pandemic, things have had to slow down a little bit, so you can understand why it's taking this long. But it's a category, John, we're very interested in, particularly from last year's success, or this year's actually, start of this year. It feels that long ago, it feels like last year, but obviously with Parasite.
Yes. Bong Joon-ho. Bong Joon-ho. I think it's Bong Joon-ho. I'll screw the man's name up. He's such a good director, Steve. We went down a rabbit hole with his movies beginning of the year, and really enjoyable experience watching that guy's brilliance and what he creates on the screen. And you're right, it's a category I've been interested in for donkeys now. Danish movies, all sorts, French movies. I love watching foreign language movies. Takes you into another culture, shows you their way of creating movies are distinctly different. Every culture has a different way of putting the art form onto the screen. They have different ways of telling stories, of satirising outside elements in pop culture and just in the world in general, bring that into the movie. So I like the concept of this movie as well. It's about a bull, and it's going to examine through this construct of this bull the human form and the problems that are also present within human beings. So I love that. I like it when they do metaphorical storytelling like that. And you're right, the actual poster is incredible. It's so colourful, it's well constructed. I like the juxtaposition of the bull with the sort of sunset in the background. And more importantly, I'm stunned that there hasn't been an Indian movie nominated as a foreign language Oscar hopeful in 19 years. That's astonishing. And there's only been 2 other movies made the final 5 sort of shortlist ever. And of course, I was going to, you mentioned Bong Joon-ho, whatever it is. I'll just say the 2 just in case I'm wrong in one, and ultimately I get it right. Of course, there was no Korean movie ever nominated at the Oscars until Parasite, and he picked it up. He won 5 Oscars on the night, I think. First guy since Walt Disney back in the 1950s. So maybe that breakthrough moment for Korean film will be echoed for Indian film in next year's ceremony. But it's always a great moment when I presume a foreign country puts together, hits Oscar hopeful and puts it forward for potential nomination. It'll be interesting to see if it makes it. 27 entries. I'd love to know who the other movies are that was battling alongside. We reacted to Gully Boy. It was its nomination last year. I think it was Ranveer Singh. It looked like an interesting movie. We get some criticism from people in the comments about the movie, saying that it wasn't as good as 8 Mile and stuff like that. I don't know, I've not seen it. But it's just, Steve, it's interesting. We've had so many people, man, getting off on a tangent here, commenting on our channel in recent months, asking us to not react to movies. And I've suggested that some the different styles of movies, there's some more serious ones, there's some more airy popcorn flick ones. I wonder how much of that plays into the nomination. Did they go for the overall popular movie, which has made a lot of money, that's ticked out enough boxes to present it and hope that it's an all-rounder? Or did they go for the more drama, art form driven movies that tend to do well at the Oscars, the likes of a Parasite, of a Moonlight, of a, perhaps it was Moonlight, wasn't it? One, I'm pretty sure it was. Movies like that. What was the one with Guillermo del Toro and
The Shape of Water.
The Shape of Water. Movies like that, more drama-driven, distinct sort of criteria-driven movies.
This comes under action crime, but it's getting 7.6 out of 10, John. I've seen higher films in the Indian cinema.
Popularity again,
but I think that's just that's what it's based on. It's based on popularity, so it could be down to box office. I don't know. Maybe someone can comment below that's seen. It's Jallikattu, but its original title was called Jallikattu.
You're not going to attempt to Malayalam?
No, I've danced.
Is that a region?
John, I danced around that article just to get to sort of the bullet points, but it's going to be very interesting. It's an exciting time as well.
It's actually a language, Stephen. It's a Dravidian language from the Indian state of Kerala.
There you go.
So there you go. It's a language. Kerala, incidentally. I'd love to go there.
Yeah.
My God, it's just an absolute paradise. By all accounts, curries are as spicy as hell, and I love my spice. I love my curries. I need to go to Kerala someday. I need to go to India in general. Just an amazing place, man. So much better than this drab shithole that is Scotland. The west of Scotland more particularly. Too much wind, too much rain, too much cloud. We don't even know what the sun is over here, so I need to move to India. That's what I'm saying in a sense. But look, man, we're done. Yeah. I'm done. I presume you're done.
I'm done and dusted.
What's your thoughts on the array of topics we touched upon on this show tonight, guys? What do you make about Godzilla v Kong potentially heading to streaming, potentially to HBO Max? Is it something you even care about? Because if you're out with the States, it ain't going to apply to you. You're going to have to watch it in a theatre anyway. But do you think this is a good move, or do you think it's terrible like us and this is a movie designed for the big screen experience? What do you make about Mads Mikkelsen, liar, being confirmed as Grindelwald, the replacement for Johnny Depp? A man just a week ago, I think, who says it was all rumours and he didn't know anything about it. You lying shit, Mads. You think it's a great move? What's your thoughts? You can also share your thoughts on where you think Gamora will be in the next Guardians Volume 3 movie. Where do you think she will be the centre of the story, the search for Gamora? What do you make about this Mark Ruffalo, Ryan Reynolds time travel movie, him playing Reynolds' dad? Do you think that can work? And finally, the Oscar shortlist nomination for India, Jallikattu. What do you make about that? Have you seen it? Is it something you can imbue us with your knowledge on? I like the word imbue. It doesn't even make sense in the context I've used it in, but it doesn't matter, guys. You can comment below and let us know what your thoughts are down below in the comments section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel if you want to see us talking about more movie news in the future. And if you do that, so you'll get us talking about more movie news in the future. But look, until then, I'm going to try to say bye-bye. That right.